Can you hear me, Rose?
Okay.
I can't see your video. What's wrong?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Right, I can see you now.
Hello.
I can see you.
Hello.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, so we're good to go. Hello, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. What's wrong? Sorry, guys. I don't know why this is happening. Okay, can you guys hear me now? And can you see me? So can you guys see me? Okay, great, great. All right, so thanks for coming in today. Okay, thank you. I'm going to bring on, no, not this one. This is not the one I want to share. I'm going to bring on our guest tonight very, very soon. Her name is Roselyn. Her name is Roselyn. She's going to take us through today. Roselyn is here already. Let me see if I can bring her in so that I can see her face. Hello, Roselyn. Thanks for joining us. Roselyn, you've gone off. Oh, we can't. Okay, great, great. We can see you now. Okay. So Rose is going to be taking us tonight on stress management using exercise. Rose, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Okay, so like I said, I can't find Rose. Oh, where is she? So Rose is supposed to share with us tonight or today on stress management using exercise. Rose is the. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Let me. I was muted. So this is the second part of this webinar series. We started out about 2 weeks ago talking about stress management and the importance of stress management. And in a very first live session or webinar, we talked about stress management using boundaries. The video is still on the channel. You can watch it in case you missed that. All right, we talked about stress management using boundaries, and we talked about how we can set boundaries for ourselves and ensuring that people don't cross the boundaries, and that we also don't cross our boundaries, so we can avoid stress for ourselves. And we looked at certain things that we need to put in place, or certain areas that we need to ensure that there are boundaries, so that we don't find ourselves being stressed and we don't find ourselves going through the kind of experiences that we really do not want to go through. And so I sat and I thought about it that setting boundaries is not the only method through which people can manage stress. And of course, I know that boundary setting is not even a common or popular opinion as regards stress management. And so I thought about it. I was like, look, let's look at exercise. All right, how can we use exercise as a way of what can I use now, as a way of managing stress? All right, so that we don't go through the experience where we begin to get stressed and we're not able to manage ourselves properly. And I thought that I should bring one of the foremost fitness agencies in Nigeria to do this with us. All right, and I reached out to Trooper, and they agreed to do that because welcome, Rosalind. Can you hear me? Rosalind, can you hear me? Hello, Rosalind. Can you see me and can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Rosalind?
Yes, I can see you and I can hear you. So kindly confirm that you can
Great.
hear
So
me.
everyone, loud and clear, loud and clear.
Yes, I can.
All right. So everyone, this is Rosalind from Trooper.
Okay,
She's the
fantastic.
lead trainer for Trooper. Like I said, I thought that who can I bring to talk to us about exercise and stress management? And I reached out to Trooper and they gladly accepted the invitation. So I'm going to hand you over to Rosalind. Rosalind has some amazing things for us tonight. And I'm sure that at the end of this, she's going to wow us, and you're going to be surprised at how much you can do with exercise or with fitness in terms of managing stress. So let me just release Rosalind's voice so that she can be heard. And I'm going to hide myself.
Okay, do let me know when you want me to speak. Hello? Can I go ahead to speak, Tolu? What's happening?
Okay, so it appears we lost Rosalind there.
No, no,
Uh,
no. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm
okay, you
here.
can okay, you can start, Rosalind. Your slide is up.
Yeah, I was. Okay, so I was asking if I could start. Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. Okay, so my name is Rose Dinayenike, and I'm the business manager and lead trainer at Tropper. And Tropper is a fitness organization here in Nigeria where we create fun fitness activities for corporate organizations and also individuals. But our main focus is corporates, where we help in using fitness as a means of employee and as an employee engagement tool to increase productivity and also the overall well-being of employees. So today I'll be taking you through stress management through exercise. And one important thing that we should all know is that stress is good because really without you we all need a level of stress. We all need a level of stress. So if the slide could just go up and about and we can go. So today we're speaking on stress management through exercise. I know I'm not able to communicate with you, having that full conversation, the back and forth, but I'd really have loved to hear some things from you because I would love to ask the question how many people are stressed or throughout the week who got stressed and where are you today as at now. But it's fine. We'll just go ahead. That's my profile. I don't know if I have to read it, but basically, like I mentioned, I'm the business manager and lead trainer at Tropper, and I'm very passionate about bridging the gap for employers and employees using tried and tested wellness solutions to increase the productivity index of organizations in order to boost employee engagement and improve the overall well-being of employees. I'm a graduate of microbiology, an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, an executive member of the Association of Fitness Professionals in Nigeria. I'm a certified instructor and a yoga teacher. In my leisure time, I love to volunteer, and I volunteer for Crimson Bowl Sickle Cell Initiative and Alliance for Youth Development. So that takes me to the first question: what is stress? Basically, according to the dictionary, that's Merriam-Webster dictionary, it says that it is a physical, chemical, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension and may be a factor in disease causation. Now, we all know that stress is really essential for us because it triggers it's both internal and external. Now, when you have internal stress, that's the one that is innate. All you do is you bring it forth. So if we all know where we say fear of the unknown, really there's no fear of the unknown, it's just fear of self. Fear of, am I sure I can accomplish this? Am I sure I can do this? And that's when we have the internal stress. Now, the external stress is when different things from things that you can't control come upon you. Now, we know, so my simple definition of stress is expressed when an individual can't cope with the external demands or pressure placed on them. Stress brings about the fight or flight response. So when we say the fight or flight, which is pretty general, is either you're reacting to the emotions that come with stress or you're fighting it. And now stress can lead to a number of diseases. We have the cardiovascular diseases, we have burnout, we have insomnia, we have the high blood pressure, depression, obesity, and that's when your cortisol level is high. You have the cravings for food, and really, when you crave for food, you're craving for sugar because one, sugar is pretty important for our body function because you want your brain to work. And because of that, you're always craving for sweet things. And in doing that, when you keep consuming a lot of sugar, the sugar that is not used up is stored up as fat. And most fat in humans is stored within the abdominal region, which can lead to obesity because obesity is basically checked around your waist circumference. Sleep apnea, we have anxiety, panic attacks, immune related diseases, and a host of others. So that's what stress simply means. Now, what causes stress? There are stressors, and these are things that trigger stress. Now, stress triggers cut across different areas. We have the physical triggers, we have, the physiological triggers, and that's when we now the examples of triggers. We have the layoffs right now. The wake of the COVID-19 has created a whole lot of uncertainty. People are anxious. People are panicking because people have lost their jobs. I mean, children are home. That brings me to the next one, which is children are home. They've had to learn to switch it from in person and brick and mortar type of studying to online. And now parents are having to carry out two different roles beyond getting to work at home for the office. They also now have to supervise their kids, and that is leading to stress. We have spouse. If you do not have an understanding spouse at this time, it can be a pure trigger. Unemployment for individuals who don't have jobs, either due to redundancy, either due to layoff, or they haven't just gotten a job since they graduated. That is part of stress. Financial is one of the most popular form of stress because everyone needs money. Money is really essential for us to do our daily runnings. You want to buy fuel, you want to buy gas, you want to buy books, you want to commute, even for commuting, moving around, you need money. Work related deadlines. Yes, we're at work, we have to do so many things at the same time. You have a boss who might not be understanding, you have a colleague who is not cooperating, you have a subordinate that is just giving you a hard time. Then we have trauma, and trauma can come in different ways. The death of a loved one, terminal illness of a loved one, robbery, rape. There are so many things that fall under trauma, and accidents that we can't always run away from, but they are bound to happen. So these are stress triggers. Now, how do you mitigate stress? Your stressors, because these are stressors. Stressors are what causes stress. Now, how do you mitigate? Even before you come to nutrition, we're still on stress. How do you mitigate your stressors? First is understanding what your stressor is. The moment you're able to define it, said that the moment you define a thing, the better it is for you to find a solution. So the first thing in order to mitigate what your stressor is that leads to your own stress is, what are your stressors? Now, like I mentioned, stressors are cut across this. And the moment you now know that, okay, for me, it's my children. Why are they stressing me? Okay, they nag, they keep me up all night. They are just so disturbing. There's so many, instances that can come from children. If we say unemployment, I'm not able to do the necessary things that make me a graduate. I can't buy fuel. I have to beg for money. Now these are your stressors. So what can you do if you're unemployed? That's where the question, what can you do? So when you know why you have what the stressors are, you're asking the question why. Now what can you do? And now it cuts in different ways. If it's unemployment, have you written a CV? Have you even asked people? Have you told people about it? Because most times we say we're stressed, but we keep ourselves just down there, not finding ways to even speak with someone or even try to. So now let me use unemployment as a base. You know that unemployment is your stressor. Why is it so? One, within the job market, those openings that suit my discipline isn't available. So what can you do about it? Do I switch industries? If you're switching industries, what are the things I need to perform in this industry? Then you go to the how. How do I go about it? Because I've just spoken about how do you go about it. It's speaking to people. Okay, so I need a job, and don't ever say anything because you see this is where people miss it. You're unemployed, and the first question the first answer that comes to mind when you're asked, what type of job do you want? And you say anything. Anything is nothing, because even at any time, see, someone tells me about a job, I don't know anything, because there's really no job role that says anything. So you need to be specific about your request. Okay, I need a business administrative role where I can function on with XYZ, this, and know what you can do. So sometimes people say, oh, I just want any job. Any job is no job. Are you willing to work for 7 days in a week? You need to define those things, because the moment you have rules, it guides you through your decision. So that's where once you're able to put that into consideration, you are already pulling down your stress. And now we now come to the point where there are two levels of stress, like I mentioned: the internal stress and the external stress, the eustress and the distress. Now when we say eustress is a good stress. And what are good stress? You, like right now I'm presenting, there are times when to present sent butterflies through my belly. I would shiver from my head to my feet, and I'm wondering why. But the moment I go in, get out, I'm okay. So yes, that is good stress, because what it does for you is that it's keeping you there. You want to achieve, like high flyers, they're stressed when it's coming time of examination, because they want to be the best, they want to get this thing done. And that's where you stress is. This stress is the bad type of stress. And now you never want to get to a point where you lose every form of motivation, every form of inspiration, every form of, you become inadequate, because stress can lead you to inadequacy, especially when you've gotten to the last part. And that's why we have the acute stress and the chronic stress. Acute stress is what majority of us go through. That simple, oh, I'm just so tired. I've been at work. I was meant to close at 5 p.m. I was told to stay till 9 p.m. And at the end of the day, the tasks we were working on couldn't be done. I don't think I want to go back to work. Now, you don't want to go back to work, but have you really addressed the situation within the hours of work when you were given the task? What did you do? Did you start with the least things, or you started with the most critical assignment of the day? So sometimes it's about being smart. It's already cliche. Every time we have to talk about this, we say smart, smart, smart. Be specific. It should be measurable. Time bound, it should be realistic. Yes, but you see, in helping to mitigate your stressors, you need to be smart about it. Lay it down, have a process to it, and start to walk in line with that. And if you really do that, you would see that the level of stress that you have drops. And when, like, the hormones that are secreted when you're stressed, cortisol, your adrenaline, that heart palpitation you have from presenting, from writing an exam, from going into a boss's office, just because you feel that the moment you step into that boss's office, the next thing you see on your desk the next morning is an exit letter. You have to leave. But you see, we need to face these things head on. It's not a time to just say wish it away. You can never wish away stress. You can only respond to stress. And that's where your fight or flight paradigm comes to play. Do you want to fight, or do you want to fly? Now, in responding is understanding and realizing that the stress is here. So how do I take it away? But when you are reacting, you're running away from stress, pushing it under the carpet. It's just like when you have issues and you keep sweeping issues under the carpet. A specific day will come when you decide to turn off the heap of death. And by that time, it's extremely late. And that's why it said that the situations that stress brings to people is depression, anxiety, panic, cardiovascular, especially that's why I said your adrenaline, the heart palpitations. So now we come to food. Food. Food is really essential, because this is the energy we need to run our daily activities. It's an essential thing, and we cannot get away from it, because the three basic things for life is shelter, food, and housing. If you have a house, a roof over your head, problem is solved. When you want to eat, food becomes necessary. So food plays a huge role in managing stress because it acts as fuel for the body. It can be nourishing or lethargic. It is advised that nutrient-dense meals, whole meals, vegetables, fruits be consumed. A balanced meal should be eaten with no form of restriction of food types except otherwise advised by a medical practitioner or dietitian. Now, where I said food can be nourishing or lethargic is now you understanding your body. There are specific meals you eat at a particular time of the day, and you are totally out. So that brings me to something we spoke about a few months ago, the post-lunch slump. There are times when you're trying to be productive, but you've just had lunch, and the next thing you can't function. Now, if you understand that this is who you are, then you know that food at any time around lunchtime creates a lethargic feeling. You are not able to be productive. And now, in you being not productive, that brings about a stress. That brings about stress, and now it affects you in general. So, now what type of food are you meant to eat? Now, yogurt. And now, when I say yogurt, I'm not saying the sweetened yogurt. It's the unsweetened yogurt that have live cultures, which we call the probiotics. And there are also things around this where we have kimchi. But kimchi is more like fermented cabbage. But not everyone, it's a Korean type of meal. We have eggs, we have fish. Well, now for the omega 3, and there you can get from mackerel, you can get from salmon, your black and green tea. Now, when you're taking tea, chamomile is pretty good for you because if you're stressed and you take chamomile tea, it relaxes and keeps you calm. Oats, because of the fiber. Vegetables, we have our own local vegetables where you have the shoko, the ugu, the green, the utazi. There's so many vegetables that you can have in your meal that would help you. Brown rice, fruit. You have your pineapples, you have your apples, you have your English pear, you have the oranges, you have banana because of potassium. You have so many fruits around, but you see, understand how you feel per time, even when you eat. Now, and like I mentioned, cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and it's when secreted in high amount, it causes cravings for meals with high sugar content, which leads to weight gain. If your cortisol level is it becomes injurious to you. And you do not want to get to that point because there are people who, when they gain weight, they start to hate themselves because with weight gain comes lack of confidence, low self esteem, diseases that you can't help. And you start to blame yourself why this is happening to you. So you want to try as much as possible to reduce your stress level per time. And then we come to exercise. Why do we exercise? Why is it necessary for us to exercise? Why is it necessary for us to exercise? Exercise is something that has been right from the days of our forefathers. Our forefathers had way more things to do than what we have now. I mean, they also went through stress, but there was something they always did. They exercised. And now, in exercising, it doesn't have to be extremely formal. When I say formal exercise is when you have to do your running, you go to the gym. How do you get in exercise without doing this? Take a walk. Now there are three types of walking. You have the stroll, which is the leisure walk, you have the brisk walk, and you have the power walk. Now, exercise, so we have to go back. So I just read that. Exercise is a physical activity that you put yourself through. And when you know you want to exercise, it's always nice to work with professionals who are able to guide you through appropriately because you do not want to get to that point where you're extremely stressed, especially for those who have got high blood pressure. There are specific exercises you can't do when you have high blood pressure. There's specific exercises you can't do when you're depressed or when you have panic attack or when you are anxious. So working with a professional has immense benefits for a stressed individual. And your overall health and well-being is really important. And that's the reason why we do every form of exercise, which improves your physical health. Your physical health is getting rid when you are at that place of optimal health in that you have no form of disease and your fitness level is on an average. You're not so low on the spectrum and you're not so high on the spectrum, but you're just at optimum to create that day-to-day movement, to create breaking fatigue and all. And that's why exercise is pretty important. Now there are components to exercise, and that's where we have the aerobics exercise, where it's the use of oxygen, walking, running, cycling, jump ropes, dance. Then we come to anaerobic exercises where there is no, you do not have so much oxygen because it's either here you're doing a high intensity interval training workout and you're either using your body weights to do the work or you're using a form of resistance where you have bands, you use your free weights where you have your dumbbells, your barbell, your kettlebells. Then we have flexibility. We all have different range of motion and flexibility because flexibility is more for the muscles. Your range of motion is so you need to understand where you are per time. But flexibility is pretty important because there are people who can't lace their shoe, which is pretty, you might say it as, oh, it's a simple task, but there are individuals who can't even lace their shoes. Every time they have to lace their shoes, someone has to help them or they find a way around it. Balance is key because as you start to grow old, you need to improve your balance. And that's where we get forms of exercises here as yoga, deep breathing, mindfulness, meditation, and Pilates. Now, what are the excuses for people who don't want to exercise?
I say apologies, everyone. This is being worked on. In a few minutes, if we're not able to get Rosalind back on, we might have to reschedule, but this will still be available on the channel for you to watch. All right, so we won't take it off. It will still be there, and you can share with your friends to come and watch. I don't want to take her place, right? But let's just give her a few more minutes to see if she can connect. She's calling me. I'm so sorry, guys. So sorry about this. This wasn't the plan. Just some network, some network glitch. Let's hold on a bit. See if we can get that sorted. In the meantime, let's go back to our video. So this video I'm about to play, I like this video a lot. I don't know why. I'm so sorry, guys. We just might have to bring this to a close. We just might have to bring this to a close. I'm sorry for this experience, but hey, you can still go ahead and watch the previous part. She was really hitting it hard and she was on fire, right? So apologies for this. We'll most likely take it again. I'll let you know when this would happen. So we just have to bring this to a close, right? Thank you so much for joining in, everyone.